All right, let's talk about travel. You know that feeling, right? Where the beautiful dream of vacation suddenly sours and you realize things are about to go very, very wrong. Well, today, we're building the ultimate toolkit for exactly those moments. So let's dive in. Just picture it. You've saved up, you've packed, you're finally there. This is it. But then you see the look on the agent's face and you just know your perfect trip is about to become a total nightmare. You can feel that anger, that frustration bubbling up inside you. But how do you actually turn that feeling into words? Words that are clear, that are precise, and that might actually get you somewhere. That's what we're here to figure out. So let's begin our little trip from hell with a true classic, the canceled flight. That blinking red canceled on the departure board is where it all starts. So what's that very first feeling? You're probably not furious. Not yet, anyway. You're just deflated. And the perfect word for that is upset. It's that initial wave of sadness and disappointment when your plans just vanish into thin air. Now, look at this example. This is really key. Lucy was upset about the cancellation. See that? It wasn't about a person. It was about the situation, the event itself. That tiny little preposition, about, tells you everything you need to know about what caused the feeling. Okay, so the flight is gone, but oh, our journey is just getting started. As the problems start to pile up, we need our words to get stronger and a whole lot more specific. You've got to understand the scale here. Think of it like a volume knob on your anger. Upset is maybe a 2 or a 3, but furious, that's when you're cranking it all the way up to 10. As you can see, it means very, very angry. You save this word for when things are truly, completely unacceptable. And how do they get unacceptable? Well, after the flight is canceled, the airline loses your bags. You finally drag yourself to the hotel, and surprise, they can't find your reservation. The room they eventually give you is dirty. And then the rental car company slaps you with some mysterious fuel charge. It's not one thing, it's everything at once. A total cascade of failure. Now we are getting to the absolute heart of complaining effectively. You have to know what you're angry at. Is it the person standing in front of you being unhelpful? Or is it the situation, like the dirty room they put you in? Because believe it or not, the words you use have to change depending on your target. Okay, look closely at this because it's fascinating. Just one tiny word, a preposition, changes the entire meaning. When you're disappointed in a person for their actions, but you're disappointed with a thing or a situation. It's such a small detail, but it makes a huge difference. See? Here, using in makes it personal. It points the finger directly at the staff member and their bad attitude. You're saying they let you down. But here, with the word with, the focus gets bigger. It's not just about one person anymore. It's about the entire experience. The bad service, the crummy room, the whole shebang. It's a subtle shift, but it's incredibly powerful. All right, you're getting it. Now that you know how to aim your feelings with the right prepositions, it is time to unleash your secret weapon. This is how you complain with surgical precision. It's called the defining relative clause. I know, it sounds like some boring grammar lesson from school, but seriously, think of it as a laser pointer for your complaint. It lets you specify exactly who or what you're talking about, so there's absolutely no confusion. They can't pretend they don't know which person or which room you mean. Here's how easy it is. You just take two simple ideas and you smush them together. So you don't just say, the agent was unfriendly. No, you say, the agent we spoke to was unfriendly. Boom. Done. There's no wiggle room there. You have identified the exact target. Now, if you want to sound really natural, here's a little pro tip. In everyday English, we almost always drop words like that or who in these kinds of sentences. It's called a zero pronoun, and it's the secret to sounding fluent instead of like you're reading from a script. Let's just listen to how these sound. The car we got was scratched. The hotel we stayed in was small. The man we spoke to was indifferent. Hear that? You don't need the word that. It just flows better, it's cleaner, it's faster, and it's how people actually talk. And just when you think our trip from hell cannot possibly get any worse, well, it does. This is a real story from the source material. A couple gets a hotel room in the winter with no heat. It was so cold that ice was literally forming on the inside of the windows. And to top it all off, the hotel refused to give them a refund. At a certain point, what can you even say? I mean, a situation like that is so absurd, grammar just isn't enough. And that's where these kinds of expressions come in. You're joking. No way. That's unbelievable. They're not really questions, right? They're just the only possible human reaction when a story is that insane. Okay, deep breaths. We've survived the nightmare trip, and we've picked up some incredibly useful tools along the way, so now let's put everything together in one place. This right here, this is your cheat sheet. Everything we've been talking about is summarized on this one slide. Are you upset about an event, or are you furious with a person? Are you disappointed in an employee's behavior, or with the entire situation? This is how you pick the right words to say exactly what you mean every single time. So there you have it. You've got the vocabulary, you've got the grammar, you have all the tools you need to describe precisely what went wrong and exactly how it made you feel. So the only question left is, what travel horror story have you been dying to tell? Because now you've got the words.